restraints, one for each of my wrists and one for each of my ankles, tied those down to the bottom of the bed.
I was in restraints 24 hours a day, wheelchair during the day, bed at night. It's a living hell.
I ask you to do something, you do it. Do you understand?
They are perhaps America's most vulnerable. Young patients in mental health and residential treatment facilities. Defenseless, they can be the victims of neglect, cruel beatings, and worse.
You say yes.
The young man in the tape is a patient at the Tangram Rehabilitation Center in San Marcos, Texas. He is brain injured and blind. Fox Files obtained this shocking video from the Citizens Commission on Human Rights, a group founded by the Church of Scientology.
They had both arms behind his back, pushed up between his shoulder blades, and at the same time was shoving John's head into his lap, where I almost thought it was going to break his neck.
16-year-old Rochelle Claiborne died in Laurel Ridge's care last August. This state report, a glimpse into her final moments inside this mental hospital. The report shows during the restraint, quote, Rochelle stated several times she could not breathe. She urinated and defecated during the restraint and was given a 50-milligram shot of Thorazine. After that, the report states she was, quote, unresponsive, limp, quiet, still, unconscious, lax. Her still-soiled body was then put in a blanket and placed face down in a seclusion room. 5 minutes later, she was found still face down, no pulse, and not breathing.
Our view is that in almost all respects, the staff behaved appropriately, followed the standards.
Well, my son Samuel was in custody because he had an argument with his father and made a threat to him, so his father had him arrested. While he was in custody, he called home to say that he was going to be going for a 90-day psychiatric evaluation. He arrived at Patton. About 4:15 in the afternoon, he called to let the family know he arrived. The next morning, about 3:30 in the morning, we get a call from his father that told me that he was called by the hospital and that something was wrong. Samuel had an accident. Well, I spoke to the hospital shortly after, and they confirmed that he had an accident and he had passed on, but that they had a great burial plan that they could help me with if I didn't have any money to bury him. Well, I was appalled. I said, what do you mean burial plans? Back up, I can't even believe my son is dead. What happened? Well, they didn't really know. They said that they think that he was drinking beer. And I said, drinking beer in a facility? If he was transferred from the Los Angeles County to a hospital, do they customary make beer runs? Where did he get beer? Well, they said, well, we don't know, we're not sure. But he died. Later, I find out that he just didn't want to be medicated. He begged not to be medicated. Staff came from behind my son, threw a padded blanket over his face, which muffs out sound, and took him down to physically force him to be injected with psychotropic medications. About 9 staff members sat on him and crushed the life out of him. The only way they knew that he was no longer alive was that one of the staff members commented, his legs aren't moving anymore. He's not moving. And basically they got away with murder. I don't care how they color or sugarcoat it, they got away with murder. There's many Samuel Rangels there as we speak right now that are behind walls, behind these concrete walls, being raped of their rights. And if they complain, they're punished with more medication. We need to get the word out. We need to get the message out through whatever means possible. We need to get the message out to stop forced drugging. If enough of us get out there, we can make a difference. We can be heard. We can crusade over and over and over until legislation just makes changes and Sacramento and Washington pay attention to us.